much informal compared to what we did last time. So it is being recorded and it will be on the town's YouTube. It's not on Channel 9. And one of the purposes for that is for people that are interested in being involved in this grant process can see what it is that we've discussed and can join us at a later meeting should we have that. So what I was put in the chat, and these are the same goals that I had for the earlier meeting that we had. So the questions that we want to answer tonight are what is possible is the first one. Which project, if we choose to go forward, which project do we go forward with? And what are the next steps? And so I do want to say that whatever we do today, I am going to write up a little blurb for what we talked about. And I am a selectman, but I can't speak for the selectmen. So I will take it to the select board on Tuesday, everything from these 4 possibilities that we talk about this week. And the select board will look at it for budget and what staff can help where with what and those sorts of things. What do we want to go forward with? So these are the questions that I have, and hopefully you all received in your email a little idea sheet. Roger, did you get that?
Yeah, I got it today, Veronica, yeah.
And what about you, Bill? Did you get it?
I got it, yeah. Was I supposed to print it out or something?
No, I'm just going to talk to it. It's up to you whether you print it out or not. I mean, and Emmy, did you get it as well? Yes. Okay. So I was successful in doing that. I didn't know if I was or not. So the first thing is the application deadline. This is the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Grant. So the application deadline is a little more forgiving. You can apply from February 1st through April 1st. And the awards, I believe, are July 1st, if I remember correctly, and you have a year to finish it. The amount on this is $5,000, so it is not a large amount. So I guess my thoughts were we have more time to think about this than we do for some of them. This one gives us more time unless we want to get it in early in the process. So if we start now talking about things, and took a month, if we got it in March, that would be fine. So, we have to look at what is possible. How many people do we have working? If we have the same people working on all 4 of them, it will take us, we won't be able to accomplish everything. So anyway, just food for thought. So what do you guys think about this as far as time frame goes?
Time frame's doable. I think so.
Emmy, go ahead, and then I'll go grab Roger. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the time frame's doable. I mean, and especially since we're really only looking at 2 that we're going to kind of discuss tonight and sort of make some decisions on. And I know both areas, there's already been some talk about and looking at previously. So we're not starting from scratch. Mm-hmm. So, on my end and for recreation, we're all in on this because both play very importantly into the 5 and 10 year plan for recreation. So. Okay. And Roger, what were you going to say?
Oh, is that the one that's for $5,000, Veronica?
Yes, this is 5,000. That's the cap.
That's the cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was it Emmy had in mind to do?
I think the 2 things we were looking at was Adams Dam. The riverbank restoration at Adams Dam. I don't know. I should say Wild and Scenic Stewardship. When Beth and I first thought of doing this after the December MJTC grant, the Wild and Scenic Stewardship, we didn't know about. We had not yet received that notice. So we threw this one in there, beginning of last week. We just threw it in and figured, it's in the time frame, let's talk about it. So I really didn't spend a lot of time going through this and saying, okay, this is what I think if you remember at the grant meeting, it was blank. I think I had a blank under the ideas, or maybe I had thrown in the harbor pond and turtles or something. I went through the stewardship plan and made it up. So, yeah. So I don't know. Those are the two things. Bill, you're the one that said harbor pond cleanup, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a study done some years ago on that, because I think we got fairly close to actually doing something about it.
So that was actually my primary question for both of these, knowing that they're ecological areas in Townsend, and knowing that we have an extremely active conservation committee and land trust group. Like, do we have studies on the riverbank? Do we have studies on the pollution in the harbor and the erosion there? Is there anything in the last 10 years or even 5 years that we can start pulling from to look at as a starting point? Because I feel like one of our groups in Townsend has got to have had their fingers in those pies at some point in the last few years.
I'm not aware of anything in the last few years. I think it was more like 20 years that they did a study on the harbor pond. And I don't recall who did it, whether it was conservation or...
It might have been NRWA.
Yeah, that could be.
I know that both of these ideas are in the stewardship plan.
They would have good records, the NRWA at least.
If we decide to go forward with this, and I could call Al Futterman and ask him, the land trust hasn't done anything on either of these because they're not our properties, so we can only work with what are our properredoings.
I mean, it's a big project though, Ronnie, because, the 5,000 probably wouldn't even cover redoing a study, even if we could find the original people who did the study and they remember.
But we might be able to get some of that as part of other programs, some that I've already stumbled across. Mm-hmm. And I think with either of these that we choose, this is going to just be a starting point to a longer term program or plan, which is going to be us tagging grants on top of each other, along with a marketing campaign, really, to get our community aware of what we're doing and why.
That sounds like it might work.
Huh?
That sounds like it might work.
So Roger, I know Adams Dam is near and dear to you. So what do you know about that area that can give us a...
I'm going to kind of mirror what Bill had said about the funding. It's not a whole bunch of money, and it's not a real whole bunch of time to get things rolling, but there is the big erosion problem going down to Adams Dam is people using it and driving their vehicles down the road in there, and then of course leaving trash around the water edge, and we go down and pick it up and clean it up as much as we can.
Right.
And I've talked to a few people about possibly getting a state gate put in, one of those nice brown gates, iron gates, and allow the police and the fire to have a key if they have to access to get it down in there, to stop vehicle traffic going along the river right there.
Yeah. So I guess it's a matter of which one do we want to start with? Because like I said, on recreation's end, we're not going to let either of them go. At some point or another, we're going to start tackling both, because both of them, like I said, work for long-term vision that we have for outdoor recreation. And, I have fond memories of the trestle there by Adams Dam as a child here quite some time ago. But and I'd really like to bring that back, honestly. Like, I think that whole area and the harbor, again, when I was a child here, we swam in the harbor. Like, oh yeah, it was very normal to sit on the banks. And I held hands with my first boyfriend on the banks of the harbor. It was very momentous during the field trip. So, it was like, but that's really kind of, I think, our vision with this belongs to the community as a whole. And if we can start here with a small piece that fits in with whatever the stewardship regulations and rules are, and then, like I said, build on it, I think we can get one or both of these done before we're all, dead and gone. Fingers crossed, anyway.
Right.
So I guess it's just a matter of which one do we want to tackle first, I guess is first thought. Because like I said, for us, it's a which one if we get started on one, which one would have the greatest impact the fastest to the community, not just for a visual or recreation, but like Roger just brought up, safety issues, and we've been talking about mobility issues, like all of that. So which one would be our best first target to have the largest impact with the smallest amount of money that we're starting with or hoping to get?
I vote the gate.
Roger, I am going to build you a gate in my barn, haul it over there in the middle of the night. I will stick some keys in an envelope and slide them underneath the police door, and then we'll call it done. I'm going to do it for you, I swear. I'm gonna.
This is self-preservation.
Right? All right. Self-preservation. That definitely falls underneath.
Well, I think probably the dam would produce the quickest visible result. But,
and I do kind of think that if we can get one of them off the ground, it'll be an easier sell getting the next one off the ground.
absolutely.
Right.
And again, if you guys, I don't want to take over, Veronica. I'm not trying to do that.
Oh, no.
I'm really passionate about both of these. I really am passionate about both. My family, we kayak and paddleboard, and we go up to Lake
In Greenfield? Oh, in Brookline.
And it's
Panapo.
Yeah, Panico, thank you. And because it's close, I'd rather go to the harbor. Honestly, I'd rather just go there, and I'd love to hold kayak races there and family picnics there. It's as a whole, again, community wise. But I agree with Bill. I think it might be a long-term process that's going to cost a lot, and maybe visibility for, again, safety like Roger's looking for, and community use and actual literal visibility of what we're doing might be better served with Adams Dam first.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I would like to couple the Adams Dam with the tip stuff, because to replace the trestle and I think that's something that goes on the tip. And that's why I have that on there, Roger. So if we could couple it, the cleanup of that area, maybe we should look at it as the cleanup of Adams Dam, the bank.
Yeah.
Riverbank restoration, and include a gate.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, shoring up those banks. We definitely need to think about some, and I hate to say it, but we got to think of some fence line there. It's, pretty precarious, and there are no caution signs. And we know people are going to go back there even with a gate without vehicles, it's still a walking area. So, signage is going to be important. And I think just try and get that cleanup done to restore those banks as much as we can without getting into the actual impact of what's happening with the riverbank itself at this point anyway.
So we're gonna be a conservation heavily involved.
Yeah, and I got a call from somebody, Roger, you sent my way. I didn't manage to reach her yet today, but I will try again tomorrow to talk a little bit about that and make sure that what we're looking at is in line with what conservation has been doing in the past and could be doing now or is doing now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do that, Emmy, and I'll talk to conservation and say because this would need to be permitted work, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And so, and Roger, could you make a list and send it to me of the things that you think need to be done there? I've written down gate, signage, shoring up the bank, fence line, I'm not really sure what all needs to be done there.
I can get some pictures for you too and send them along if you want me to.
That would be great.
I love visuals, Roger. Yeah, for sure.
So maybe we should concentrate on that area, getting the shoreline, getting it cleaned up, making it a little nicer.
Okay.
I'll check with the Conservation Commission about what would need to be done permitting wise. I know that Jennifer Pettit walks out there a whole lot. So if you talk to her, Emmy, and get her thoughts on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell her you gotta give her a gate.
What?
I'll tell her we're going to give her a gate.
Yeah.
Give her a gate. Everybody gets gates.
I didn't say her name. Veronica did.
Oh, no. All right. So, and I'll write this up. And I think that, okay, so Bill, I have a task for you. Can you look at the stewardship plan for the Wild and Scenic River?
Yeah.
And see what I think that both Adams Dam and the Harbor Pond were mentioned in there.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind looking at that stewardship plan and seeing what it says about Adams Dam, that we can, because we need to target our things to that stewardship plan.
Yeah.
So look and see what's in there about Adams Dam.
That's that 174-page thing that.
Yeah, it's really long. So I'm giving it to you, Bill.
I'm a fast reader.
So, and let me know, and I'll write up a little blurb of what we're thinking, and I'll send it to all of you. Again, it's going to take me tomorrow and Saturday. I have other things for Board of Selectmen to do.
Oh, you don't. Come on. Only this.
Yeah.
Only this.
This is top priority. Definitely.
Number one, right here. We're getting a gate.
That's right. So I'll write up what we talked about right here, if you guys are good with that, and I'll send it out to you. You are now my committee. And anybody else who comes forward, this is our committee for Wild and Scenic.
Awesome.
So just proofread it. I'll get it to you, I hope, by Sunday night. And that way I can go forward with things that you guys agree with for the Board of Selectmen meeting on Tuesday night.
And I am going to poke around in a couple of the other grants that I've looked at that match this. Because like I said, I think we're going to need to I think this is going to need to be like a rolling downhill situation. We need to start it here so we grab some momentum and then just start tacking on those other grants as much as possible by basically calling on the other grants that we've applied for.
Maybe Freedom's Way for the historical part of Adams Dam, and get the gate and get the,
signage. Yeah. I mean, I was just reading that again, the LL Bean one runs right up this, as well as for the Townsend Harbor for later on down the line. And those are grants that happen every year. So if we don't hit it this year, we may next year. But again, if we can tag a whole bunch of $5,000 grants together, and if we do the preliminary work with this committee now, and then just tweak it as we need to, as we make changes, I think that this could be pretty awesome. And I think the community will be cuckoo bananas because things are going to be visual and exciting. Right?
Like able to see it. And there's an eagle out there. I mean,
so cool. It's so cool.
It's so cool. So, all right. So that's what I'll do. I'll write it up and get it out to you guys, read it through, tell me if I need to change anything, and we'll go forward.
All right. Awesome.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Anything else that we should talk about? The nice thing about this grant is they give you the money. It's not a reimbursement. You get the funding. So that's always better for us.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so, Roger, you were gonna check on the actual putting a list together, right? Of things that you guys have noticed.
Yeah, I'll get pictures tomorrow and I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's great. I'm so excited.
I am too.
Well, this will make John David very happy too, let me tell you.
Yeah.
We've been kicking this around for at least 10 years in my department now, trying to figure out where to take it. So
Yeah.
If we don't start doing it, it'll never get done. We'll just always be
Right.
talking about it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we might as well apply and see what we can get. And if it doesn't work with this one, well, we'll have another one up our sleeves ready to go and just keep it until we get it done. So
That'd be great.
Like I said, I'm going to target LL Bean, Cabela's, I'm looking at all of that neck of the woods and the Freedom's Way. When I was looking, that looks like a preliminary. And I think that we can just, like I said, if we can work the stewardship one that makes a lot of sense for this area, and they've already done some stuff for us, like on our local area, I think that would be, it's just brilliant. I think that's just brilliant. I'm so glad you brought it up, Veronica, and you found it. Like, that's great. And Bill, just out of curiosity, because I don't know you, so I don't know you. So the harbor, because you brought up the harbor. So what's your take or interest with the harbor?
Oh, well, besides the yacht club, I used to like swimming in there myself.
Okay. All right. So we're just a mutual life swimming club. Okay. All right. That's all then.
My kids would swim in there and fish and everything. So, we liked it.
Okay. So yeah, we're back to that community family use thing. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
it would be wonderful. So we'll go with it. All right, you guys, that's
Thanks,
all
guys.
I have for it.
Okay.
So unless anybody has anything else right now, look for email from me. It will come, I promise.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Hartley.
Thanks, Hartley.